from the Sullivan farm at Sullivan, and Tomas walks to school like all the other children, apart from the gypsy boy from along the coast road who trots up on a piebald pony with no saddle and a rope bridle most days. John is unsettled on his first day at school, aware that his accent, his clothes, his scrubbed pink cheeks mark him out as different. He doesn't feel at home in the classroom where he speaks only when asked a question in a low, nervous voice, aware of the contrast with the strong Kerry accents around him. He is even less at home in the playground, where he is pushed and jostled, not unkindly, in the puppy-like melee of a dozen 8-year-olds. His heart sinks when they decide to organize themselves into teams. He stands against the wall with the other boys, knowing he will be the last to be picked. So when Tomas, who has appointed himself one of the captains, says early on in the selection process, "I'll take Sean," John is staring at the rough surface of the playground and doesn't move until the boy next to him pokes him in the ribs and says, "That's you." This endorsement is enough for the rest of the boys, and Tomas is John's friend and protector throughout his time at the elementary school. Tomas is a force in the playground. He doesn't pick fights, but he doesn't avoid them, and there is a dangerous glint in his green eyes. He accepts John's homage with outward indifference. He knows John's father used to be everybody's landlord, and the Burkes still own most of Drimnamore village. The 6 acres of Sullivan that provide the Sullivans with their hard-earned living are barely 1/20th of the Derrickin Castle de Mesney and home farm. For 4 years, Tomas and John ride and fish and sail together. John is the better horseman. Tomas knows how and where to fish. John's father Henry teaches them how to sail the Burke's wooden dinghy round Rosdohan Island half a mile from the Derrickin harbour, and soon no longer feels the need to watch them all the way. They catch mackerel in the Kenmare River, and cook and eat them half-raw on Rosdohan. They chase hares on their ponies over the mountain. They swim in the peat-browned waters of Loch Dromdeen and Loch Lomana. One warm summer afternoon, they walk out along the coast road and camp at Stagu Fort, an ancient dry stone ring fort 7 miles from Drimnamore. John shows Tomas the souterrain. "My great-grandfather found it. It's an escape tunnel." They are standing in the corner of the fort, looking at the overgrown entrance. "Let's see where it comes out," says Tomas, who crouches and goes in without waiting for an answer. John follows, and the pair of them crawl along the low, black tunnel, its walls never more than a few inches away on either side, until Tomas shouts back, "I can see a light ahead!" and they emerge, blinking in a little copse 100 yards above the fort. John laughs. "Look at you! Mud from top to bottom. Annie'll skin you." "You're no better. It'll brush off. I'm glad we did it." They shake hands, grinning. Tomas shows John how to catch a salmon in the Drimnamore River, how to trot a bunch of worms downstream when the water is high, how to let the fish play with the worms for a minute after agonizing minute, then feel the fish swallow the bait, then strike. It is understood that when they catch a salmon it goes to Thomas's mother, Annie, at Sullivan, although Tomas says, "It's hard to poach your own river." John is welcome in Annie Sullivan's kitchen. Tomas is equally welcome in the kitchen at Derrickin, although he won't go beyond the green baize door into the main house. Eileen Burke sits with them there, practices her Gaelic with Tomas, and encourages John, who never becomes fluent, to join in. "Don't you think those two spend too much time together?" says Henry Burke to Eileen. "Shouldn't he meet Charlie Butler or the Herbert twins?" "They live miles away. It's an expedition to go there for a cup of tea, and the boys never leave the drawing-room," replied Eileen. "Tomas is good for John. If he's going to live in Kerry, he needs some real Kerry men for friends, not just the gentry." When they are 12, everything changes. John leaves to go to school in Dublin. Tomas leaves to help Annie on the farm. In the school holidays, Tomas is busy up at Sullivan. John helps to save the Sullivans'